Hey, my name is Greg. I'm giving you a 90-day update after microdiscectomy surgery for my L5 S1. Um, I am doing fantastic. I've been taking physical therapy for the last 2 months. My physical therapist thinks I'm doing fantastic. I have almost no pain whatsoever. I can do almost a full range of activities. I'm walking a lot. I'm bicycling, stationary bicycling, bicycling on the street, doing a lot of walking. Even we've started to go to movies again. My wife and I love to go to movies. Uh, I can sit down and see a movie. I usually get up after an hour just to walk for 4 or 5 minutes, or in the theater. But um, I'm sure I could sit for 2 hours or even longer without any problem. But I am trying to stay active without just sitting for periods of time. Um, my strength, they just gave me a test today for strength and flexibility, and I tested fine for that. My only limitation is my uh, uh, herniation had caused a sciatic pain down my left leg, which was almost immobilized for months. And as a result, my hamstring flexibility is a bit limited. And I'm working to recover that, but at this point, it still is not quite what it was. And hopefully, within a few months, I'll get back to where it should be. Um, I did learn a couple things again, which I hopefully will be of use to someone. When I went to the PT, I told them about the exercises that I had been doing, the sports I had participated in, and that I wanted to regain that activity. I wanted to get back to that, and they tailored my PT around that a little bit, so that I did things that obviously you're worried about your core, but I did things that would allow me to swing a tennis racket, would allow me to swim, would allow me to maybe jog a little bit, just things my normal activities that I enjoy doing. And I think gearing the PT toward that has made it so that I'm now almost, after really just 60 days, a total of 90 days since the operation, but the first month they didn't want me doing absolutely anything. Now they've told me I can lift fairly heavy weights again. It's as if I'm back to normal, almost. But basically, get a good PT. I'd really recommend that. Someone that I actually went to probably interviewed 3 or 4 over the phone. The first one that was with a hospital that I had my operation at was just abysmal. They were just punching a clock, and they weren't really interested in assisting me in my specific needs. So and a couple other people seemed fine, but the two people, one person ended up moving after a couple months. I really liked him. And found another person who's also very highly rated and seems just as good. But you're investing a lot of time, months, in physical therapy sometimes. Why not make sure that the person you've chosen is carefully vetted and capable of assisting you to the maximum amount that is possible, so you can maximize your recovery. That was my take on it. Um, I've been swimming for about a month, over a month and a half right now. And one thing I did do, my PT and my surgeon both said that when you swim a crawl stroke, you turn your head to breathe in the water constantly. And they were concerned that I might hurt, through the rotation of twisting when you're swimming, I might hurt my spine, the disc again that was injured, and that it would be better not to do that. So I got a snorkel, and so I'm not moving my head well, I'm just swimming normally, but with a snorkel attachment, which has been good. I felt a little discomfort or pain the first couple times I swam, but I'm up to 18 to 20 laps now, and I feel fine, and I'll get back to my 30 or 40 laps, hopefully in another couple months. Swimming, they say, is wonderful. I would like to get back to breathing normally without a snorkel, and I hope I can do that shortly as well. But you should have every intention of getting back to your normal activities. Um, I've been taking, like I say, PT for about 2 months now, and I do twice a day, about 30 minutes of different exercises. They've changed it over the time, but I'm going to have my PT guy Wednesday. He's going to prepare a plan for me that I can do on my own. That will, strong enough that will challenge me. But realistically, I think to keep healthy, you need to maintain that kind of discipline. Once or twice a day to do core building exercises that will keep you strong, so you won't have a reherniation. And that, of course, is the goal. Once you've gone through that incredible amount of pain and wasted time, you don't want a reherniation. So I think whatever you have to do to avoid that is certainly worth it. My physical therapist and surgeon both say I can do whatever I want. They say that, really, realistically, I just have to listen to my body. And if I feel pain, react accordingly. My problem is that I don't listen to my body. My entire life, I've always pushed ahead through pain, through discomfort, and did what I wanted to do. And I'm afraid that would be the case again after a short period of time. I just forget about what I've gone through and just start doing things I shouldn't be doing. So I'm still going to take it easy for another couple weeks and slowly, re-immerse myself in the activities I enjoy. But I don't feel like it's the best, with my own personal case, to take their advice and just jump right into it, because I know I'll get excited and probably hurt myself again, which doesn't make sense as far as I'm concerned. So I plan to maybe spend another 2 weeks, hitting the balls against the backboard, swimming with my snorkel, maybe just a minor jogging with my walking regime. Just things that will continue to improve me, but not put me at risk. After 6 months of being incapacitated with little assurance that those weeks that I spent incapacitated were really valuable, basically what they're doing is they're waiting to see if it heals on its own, which is the standard proactive medical manner of addressing a normal herniation. The problem with that is if it doesn't get better, you're stuck in pain and physically limited, tremendously limited generally, for months on end. Sometimes it can be up to 6 months. So I guess what I would say, I've learned what insurance requires to justify a medical procedure, a microdiscectomy. And I might be a little more proactive about it, knowing what I know now. If you've just gotten it, I would say, get a sense from the surgeon whether or not this is something that might remedy itself on its own. But if it's going to take 6 months to determine that, I'd say you'd be better off, getting the surgery if you're a good candidate for it. It has, like I say, very little risk. It was miraculous for me. Obviously, you want to find a great surgeon. The surgeon that I had, in addition to, I think very efficiently cleaning up the herniation, they also took a little extra bone around the sciatic nerve, which is what causes, of course, all the pain. And they opened the aperture of the bone a little bit more so that it, and what happens as you age is that aperture actually gets, due to gravity, of course, you get your bones start settling, and the aperture between the sciatic nerve gets a little smaller, and you're more likely to have, any minor inflammation is going to likely bring sciatic pain again. So by opening that hole a little bit more, I think it gives me a little less likelihood of having a problem. I think it's a good, for that alone, I think it's a good proactive procedure. When you're in doing the microdiscectomy, you should maybe consider doing that as well. Rather than, what you don't want is 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, having to come back and go through the same procedure, the same recovery period, the same, wasted time when you're basically crippled. So that's something I would recommend as well. I guess that's really it. I mean, I'm, you know, when you're 3 months ago, I was really down, not depression, but I didn't feel like I had a good prospect for a successful and quick recovery. And I can tell you that after 60 days, even though it's been 90 days, but 60 days, I mean, I really started feeling good. I really, after 60 days of PT, I'm at the point where I think I probably could. You know, I'm bicycling on the street. I'm today my PT guy had me doing crunches, things that I thought I would be on tenterhooks with for weeks on end, months on end, perhaps a year. I'm capable of doing these things now without any pain, without any harm to myself. So keep the faith, and I wish you the best. The previous video I had when I was just right out of surgery or just before it is, I'll try to get that link on this page once I post it, but it's there as well, and I hope anyone who's going through this has as good a result as I think I did. Thank you.